campaign become very invested in their candidate, and that investment they're not giving up without a fight. They'll go elsewhere. Is that what you saw from these numbers?
Well, it's a free country and free choice, and what the Democratic Party needs to do is secure its base before they go out and convince swing voters and independent voters to make their case.
Now, people have said, and the Democratic voters that have been polled have said that if their candidate, whether it's Clinton or Obama, does not get the nomination, many of them, 20%, I believe the latest numbers show, say that they would switch their votes. They would vote for McCain, vote for a Republican over a Democrat, even though they were backing a Democrat to start with. Is that surprising that there would be that big of a shift?
Yes, that percentage is higher than we thought going into this poll. But what's worse is that an additional 4% would vote for Ralph Nader and an additional 20% were undecided. They were not automatically going with the Democratic nominee.
Now, the Nader factor has always been something that you talk about post-elections. But 4% is one thing, 20% is another. Why would Democrats be willing to vote for a Republican if their number one choice doesn't get the nomination?
Well, I think you need to go behind the numbers. If you look at Clinton voters, it's actually higher than 20%. It's 24% of Clinton voters who would vote for McCain, while only 14% of Obama voters would.
But that's certainly enough to shift an entire election. And I suppose that's what the Democratic Party has to look at right now.
It's very significant. It cuts on race, and it also cuts on age. When we looked at the crosstabs last night on this question, young men, 18 to 45 years of age, will not vote for Hillary Clinton. Older women, over 75 years of age, will not vote for Barack Obama. So you've got sort of this bizarre mother-son break in the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party really needs someone to step up to the plate and link these two important demographics.
And that's what everyone has been talking about. When do you, and I know that behind the scenes there has been a lot of pushing of the superdelegates to reach a decision, to come out and try to get some of this behind the party right now. But if you're leading the party, what do? Do you go in there and make that call and say, okay, we're going to basically stop the counting and decide that this is the person who's going to go forward?
Yes, it's a very difficult policy decision, because if you're Hillary Clinton, she could conceivably be criticized if she folds now. She could be criticized for, and Obama were to go on and lose to McCain, she'd be criticized for that dynamic. Well, why did you give up so early? And if she stays in, the polling indicates that it's dividing the party even further, which is also hurting Obama. So it's a no-win situation, it appears.
Is there anyone that is identified within the Democratic Party that basically, we've heard Obama supporters calling Clinton to drop out and Clinton supporters call Obama to drop out, but is there anybody who is unaffiliated that has the clout that could come in there and negotiate a truce?
Well, I mean, there are a number of individuals who poll well, but again, you have to be thinking about linking these two demographics, young and old, young men, older women, and there are very few Democratic leaders right now who have the ability and who have the name recognition to produce that link. In fact, it may take someone outside of the Democratic Party to merge those demographics.
Did you find out what would happen if the two were on the same ticket, regardless of who was at the top and who was at the bottom?
No, but we've polled a number of states, including Ohio, and that scenario doesn't appear to be a likely scenario. Most people don't see an Obama-Clinton ticket or a Clinton-Obama ticket, so that pretty much is predisposed by likely Democratic voters as not a likely scenario.
Okay, well, this helps people understand what the predicament is for the Democratic Party, at least as we continue going forward in this primary season. David Paleologos, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.